Sit back and enjoy this one, guys. If you're doing something, you can have this audio running in the background because this is going to be a long one. I'm going to share this story with you, and I'm going to also share some other examples from things that I have seen in my life personally also. All right, guys, we're back. You know, I don't show up unless I got something to talk about. And half of the time, I'm going to be giving real anecdotal stories from my life. And we got another one. As you can see in the thumbnail, this is the reason why I don't need any red pill videos to tell me what the true nature of women is like out here. I learned from experience. Most of everything I've gotten when it comes to these relationship stories that I've told you about, it's just being in the game. You got to play the game to learn. And I know you might watch my videos, maybe to learn, maybe slightly entertainment. I know I'm not that entertaining. I'm not that charismatic on camera for you guys, but I do put on the show when when I'm out there hunting. So anyway, I'm going to show you guys the dangers of getting experience and learning about the true nature of what attracts women, why they cheat on men, why they are interested in certain types of men. I have lived through many different cycles of these situations myself. That's how I know what I know. I know there's plenty of videos out there that tells you why, and then they show you videos. They're posting reactions and stuff. You know, my channel, I don't do a whole lot of reactions, not right now at least, but I like to just give you based on what I got, but not try to give out my whole personal life. So I'm going to show you right now another message. Like I really am no longer surprised by any of this stuff at this point, but I'm going to show you guys. You may not be surprised anymore. You may have seen this type of stuff before. I'm going to show you a conversation that I had with a woman that I just recently met, and you're going to see how she talks. You're going to see uh, how women talk to guys that they are attracted to, that they really want. And this gives you perspective, guys, where around what temperature your lady should be at. If she's talking to you, she's not going to be at the highest level of interest if you've been with her for some time, but it gives you a indication of how women should talk and treat you when they are really interested in you. However, there is something very taboo about what's going to be in this video. You probably clicked on the screenshot because of what you saw in that text about someone having a husband. And yes, that is true. The woman from this story, which is a woman I know, and if someone actually knows me, someone personal that knows me that's watching this, you don't know this person. I'm telling you because I just met them. So therefore, you don't know this person. But yes, they do have a husband. And this is not a new phenomenon, but it's coming out there more and more now. She is one of those types that when I first met her, she was open enough to say, hey, I am married and we are in this open relationship. He does his thing, I do my thing. He knows about it. You will find many women have become this way more than they have ever been, thanks to feminist movements allowing women to want to feel more free and break away from traditional values. This is nothing new. You've seen that talk on plenty of videos before, but this is the whole point of this video. I don't need those videos to prove the stuff that they talk about, because in my life, I have seen these situations, man. And I'll tell you honestly, some of it is scary. You just have to learn how to navigate and deal with it. Now, this woman, like I told you, met her, and the conversation that you're seeing from the text, to give you context of what's going on, is she's telling me that she's going to be traveling out of state and she wants me to come with her. We live in the same state. And so she's telling me she wants me to come with her this weekend, and she's planning to roll around, or she says get tangled up with me all weekend. Now, I've already given you the backstory on the fact that she's in an open relationship. And I truly really don't trust all these open relationships that women say they're in. Because I don't know if I share another story with you, but we'll get into that later. She's in this open relationship. She wants me to come with her this weekend. I'm already skeptical of this stuff, guys. Like, even though I am in a situation where I'm communicating with her, which, yes, that is 100% a risk that would not advise most guys to take. Now, in some aspects, I am a risk taker. The shadow side of myself does take some risk. And I'm just interested. I'm really curious. I've always been into psychology, and that's what really is my downfall and how I get all this information. I'm really so interested in how women think and operate. I'll use myself as a guinea pig to get into these situations. That's where you got that one night stand story from last year, which got some of the most views on my channel. And there have been other situations like that. I just have not told you guys the stories. Now, this woman wants me to travel out of state, and all I do now is, because I'm so used to this of women being attracted to you, and it takes years and a lot of practice of being in the game. And I'm not bragging about it, because honestly, I'll tell you, I'm quite tired of it, which is why I don't try anymore. So if you see some of these text messages that you can see on my end, they are very low effort. Like, no matter what the woman looks like, it does not matter. If she's super attractive, it does not make me try harder. Trust me, because I've learned many different things. So that's why you see in these text messages, I'm not trying hard, but I do understand. There's concepts you got to understand, like knowing how to tease a woman and seeming like she's getting something of value. And almost as you got to be, what I've mastered from my entire life is a little bit of aloofness. Or, and women say they hate it, and they really do long term, but the nonchalant guy, I've mastered that. Everybody that knows me personally knows nonchalant, aloof is my personality. And ironically, that does work well for a good bit of women. Now, it only works short term, because long term, they're going to want more from you emotionally. They want to feel more close to you, and you would have to adjust if you want it long term. So this woman, you can see I'm pretty much pretending like maybe I don't really want it, and it's just all going to be her benefit. And that's the way you really have to talk to all of them. Like, this is not a one-time situation, guys. This is not me figuring something out. I'm just showing you. That's what this video is all about. I'm showing you the truth of what actually works versus just talking. I'll give you a little bit of an example. This is the stuff that actually works. That's why I posted another video like a month or two ago, maybe 2 months ago, where you saw me, you heard the conversation of me and one of the women that I used to deal with. She was talking in the car about what type of man she actually let sleep with her. Because I'd rather just give you proof when possible. And this is just another example of this is what actually works. There was a woman that I was with just yesterday, and this same attitude worked. Like, she wants it, and I make it seem like, oh, I do the same lines of game. Honestly, is no, you're gonna get addicted. I'll say, what happens when you get addicted? That's what I always say. Like, if anything comes up around that type of conversation, I'll just be like, okay, so what's gonna happen when you get addicted? Because I'm actually planting a seed. So that's why I love this psychology thing. And it's a little bit, it's like the dark side of you, you know? So this isn't regular guy game. Can't recommend it for everybody, because some of you guys, you're a little bit too innocent on the inside. Yeah, you're a little bit too innocent, where you're going to say, man, all of this is bad. This doesn't seem right. But honestly, if you knew how to do this, you could get a wife too, if you knew how to do this, because you only need to utilize the game once if you're planning on getting married. And see, if you're trying to get a wife without any game, that's probably where most guys mess up. So you got to have that dark side of you that you embrace. And I do that very well when dealing with the opposite sex. So that's what I do, is I just make it seem like, oh man, this will be too much for you to handle. I don't know if if I should give it to you. And that's a different dynamic from what they're used to. I might be able to go back and find one of her initial messages when I met this woman, and she told me, hey, you're different from all the other guys because they just want sex. And maybe if I can find it, I'll show you how I reacted to that conversation. But that's the whole point, is when they feel like you don't really want it and they want it from you, it's just the only dynamic that really works. And they don't have to feel like you necessarily don't want it. They feel like they will trick themselves into believing that you do want it from them because they like you. And guys, we do this too. We will gaslight our own selves. We think how we feel about somebody. I'm starting to spit now, spitting real game, literally. We think how we feel about someone means they feel the same back. It's very hard for us to not do this naturally. Think about most people or any woman that you like. You started liking her before she started liking you some of the time. And when you like someone or you're attracted to someone, you kind of automatically assume that they may be attracted to you if they have conversations with you. If they're giving you attention, you're going to start to assume that person is liking you. It's a real strange phenomenon about science. That's why I love this stuff. I wish I knew what this really was with people, where you're attracted to someone, they give you tension, they give you conversation, and because of that energy that you're feeling from them, you will mistake it for, oh, this person's attracted to me too, or this person wants me too because they're being nice to me. A good example of this is like with guys too, especially us men. We've all been to a restaurant and this bartender or waitress, she's so nice and professional and she's attractive to you, to your eyes. And then her personality may seem attractive, but that's really her professional or work personality. But you don't want to believe it. You want to believe, oh, she's just this way for me. Oh man, this woman's so nice to me and beautiful. I think I like her. And then you start to think, hey, she's coming on to me too. I probably could have got her number. Or you may go as far as trying to hit on her because you mistake that for attraction. Women do the same thing with guys they like too. This is how they end up sleeping with guys that are out of their league or not really on their level, especially on attractiveness. Everybody has different levels. We gotta admit to it. I know that I will shoot for a little bit higher than what I am. Let's say I look at myself about a 6.5. So a little bit above average because I do have abs. I do have a little bit of muscle and I know how to dress to show that off. Yes, I do have some facial things that I could improve on. But overall, sometimes keep a clean haircut. It's just I got a little bit of style to me too. I'm not going to say I'm the best at that. I could use some work. But either way, a little bit above average, and I'm still going to shoot for the eights. And women do the same thing, but they do it, I think, honestly, on a wider scale. Like a woman can be a 2 and they will only go for 8s. They won't go for the 4s or 6s at all. They will just think those are way below them because they don't know that they're the 2. Or even if they know they're 2, they don't care. They don't care if they're the 2. They just want what they want. And so you will have to deal with that a lot, especially if a woman views you as an 8. She could be a 2. She could be a 6, a 4, or 5. This is just natural. Think about relationships and jobs are always very similar. I always say this. You can use so many analogies from how people treat relationships similar to how they treat jobs. When you get out of college, you think that you deserve a high paying job because your degree costs a lot of money and you spend a lot of time getting the degree. Chances are you don't have experience enough to earn 6 figures. You don't actually deserve 6 figures. You just want it. Tell me this is not the average American. The average American just believes when I get out of college, I'm owed a 6-figure job because I went to school. That is not necessarily true. It doesn't mean you actually are worth the amount that you're asking. And relationships are the exact same thing. Everybody wants something they are not qualified for. I'll admit that even I cannot avoid this. I with like a job that I'm not qualified for. Like, you hope people teach people how to get jobs they're not qualified for. Look on the internet. There's a niche for this type of content. Let me show you how to land your first job in tech. Let me show you how to land this. And most of the time, they're teaching you how to get something that you don't really qualify for. They're teaching you how to break into getting your first job that you really shouldn't have got, but you snuck your way in, and now you can work your way to actually becoming that person. This is the same thing we do with relationships. Is you hope to sneak your way in with a woman that you don't really fit with. And if it works out, you feel like you won something. This is what women do. I just think they do it on a larger scale than men. Guys that are twos don't really go after eights unless they can throw money at them to close the gap. But most of the time, guys are maybe too afraid to go for the eights and aboves. But women, they have no fear. They will go for a 10 and be a 1. All right. Now that I got through all of that, just showing you here, the text message is going to summarize. Women will be married. They will be talking to other dudes. They will be possibly in a relationship. They can have a boyfriend. And at the end of the day, they're only attracted to a guy that gives them the certain masculine energy. No matter how much you provide for them, no matter how nice you are to them, if you're missing masculine energy, they cannot be attracted to you. They cannot want to sleep with you and go crazy over you. And this is the difference between her situation that she has now and me. I don't come with anything other than masculine energy. I'm not joking with her a whole lot. Sometimes I do use a little bit of humor. I'm very straightforward and short. I let her bring me all the good energy. I let her reach out to me. So, like, even when she sent me that text, the last text you see about her going to dinner, I won't respond anything. And the next time we talk is if she reaches out to me. There is very little neediness on my end at all. I need to let her come to me. And honestly, this situation here is not even an ideal situation for me, to be honest with you guys. I'm so curious in people that you got to communicate and deal with people to learn about them. But honestly, I am not pressed to make this situation go anywhere. I am not pressed to meet up and do anything, to be honest. She asked me what I was doing this weekend. I told her, basically, I'm going to go out. And she says, by yourself? And I say, sometimes I do. I'm not pressed, guys. This is what you got to be. And it's rough, guys. If you watch this far and you're in a long-term relationship or marriage, you do have to have some degree of this too. I hate to say it, because it's the only thing that stretches out the relationship. Is you can't go full in, I care, I love you all the time. It becomes smothering to them, and it's hard for them to want you when they've got you all the time. They have to have a little bit of push and pull, a little bit of excitement. You got the same routine. They know everything you're doing for the weekend. There's got to be a little bit of ambiguity, mixing it up, like not saying everything sometimes, leaving some mystery in her head. And this woman here is not the only one. That's why I wanted to make this video. When I start seeing repeated actions, you have to start counting this as valid evidence now. Because I remember there was a woman like 2 years ago. I had already knew her, and I already knew I've known her the whole time since she was married. We just were good acquaintances. And somehow she started reaching back out to me on social media, which is another bad thing. Whew. Social media, women with social media, you're doomed, guys. Your girl got social media or Snapchat, you're doomed. She started reaching back out to me. We just had conversations, and then it started getting to similar conversations like this woman here. And from those conversations, I learned that this particular married woman, she used to do OnlyFans while she was married, and her husband approved, because I guess one day we made a joke about selling feet pics and stuff because she said something about she needed money. This was a woman was a stay-at-home mom. Her husband made all the money. They had a kid together. They're married. So all she had to do was keep things clean and around the house and take care of the kid, take him to school and help him out, all that stuff. So that's what she did. She did stay-at-home mom stuff. But this is the bad thing now where having a woman as stay-at-home mom now in this era is scary because the stay-at-home wife, I'll put it this way, because they've got social media and women get bored really fast. They don't have hobbies like guys do where we could play sports for hours or watch sports for hours or play games for hours or do something else for hours and forget about the world. Women can't do that. It's very rare for majority of women to have something that will take their energy and attention for hours and they can just get completely lost in it, other than men. Men is the only thing that they can get completely lost in. Like, that's why women read those fantasy books, those fantasy romance books where they get, let me make sure I still got my battery. Good. You get the fantasy romance books, they can read those for hours. Why? Because it's related to romance and men and sex. This is the real stuff, man. I'm seeing it. So back to this particular married woman, stay-at-home wife, she wants to go out to eat with me. One day she invites me because we started talking about our favorite foods. And she's like, I want to get sushi. Have you been to this? This is my favorite sushi restaurant. They have the best sushi restaurant. I want you to come with me. So married woman invites me. That's why I say I got so many scary stories, guys. These aren't bragging stories. I'll tell you that. These are things I would not normally do and repeat and then recommend to people. But it has happened in my life. So that's why I'm telling you. So married woman says, hey, I want to go out to eat. And she invites me on a date. And now why did I call it a date? Because you could just go out to eat with anybody, especially if they're just your friend. The reason I call it a date is because she called it a date once I met up with her. I went out to eat with her like in the middle of the day. She was running her stay-at-home wife errands, and this is crazy. That's why I said I've seen too much, guys. Husband thinks she's just doing stay-at-home wife stuff, taking care of things, and she's inviting a man out on a date to her favorite spot. So one reason this is very dangerous, because I am teaching some lessons, is if you were me in this situation, first thing that's dangerous obviously is the marriage thing. Second thing that's dangerous is you're meeting up with her at a place that she knows, she frequents. So the probability of someone telling her husband or her husband finding out or her husband pulling up is so many things that are high probability because it is in her territory around things that she's familiar with. So I went there. We sat and ate. Now, when she got out of the car, okay, so I skipped. When she pulled up, got out the car, I walked up to her, greeted her, and all stuff, and then I noticed what she was wearing. I said, "Oh man!" I said, "You're all dressed up." I said, "I didn't know that I was supposed to just dress up for this." And she said, "I wanted to look nice for you." Now this is the first and only time this ever happened to me because I don't do this. This stuff has not been many situations, but I'm saying I learned from each one. And I'm like, whoa, you've done this for me. I didn't tell her to do this. And this does play into one of my fetishes. So that explains why she did it. Because as a guy, you probably have very specific things that you like that you don't express out in the open. And I'll say out of all the different types of women, because I like many different types, there is also one where I do like the gothic emo vibe and looks. And she had it. She had the colored hair or two-toned hair, where they have green and black hair, blue and black hair, tattoos over their body, and they like to wear black and all this stuff like that. She had on the goth boots. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Because at first I called it emo. I said, "Oh, you got the emo vibes there." I said, "I dig it. I like it." And she said, "Excuse me, it's goth." She said, "This is gothic." And I was like, dang, okay, goth. Okay, so you got the goth vibes. I said, I like it. and the colored hair, the tattoos, and she dressed up for me. Had a nice little outfit. It was like, guys, this is crazy because you don't hear black men talking about this that much. But it was like you would think it was a costume. Yeah, you ever seen the gothic costumes where it's like they wear like a little skirty type thing? It's like a skirt, some black stockings, some black boots, and then they wear this various types of tops. I can't even remember the top that she wore. But I was just like, dang, she dressed up for me. I never seen her dressed that way. I known her for years. Never seen her dressed that way. And this is the thing that's crazy because her husband probably hasn't seen her dressed that way in a very long time also. And I'm like, this is wow. Like, to be honest, I'm not even enjoying the situation. I'm just taking in information. Like everything about these situations, I'm just gathering information. I'm just learning. What do people really like? What do they really do? What they want to do? And it's my fault because I got interested in psychology at the age of 18. And the best way to learn psychology is to learn people. And the only way to learn people is to be around them and deal with them. And I was just like, dang. Now we go into the restaurant. We're talking and hanging out. And she says, oh, I was just here last week. And guess who she was there with? You're right. She was there with her husband. And so I'm thinking, well, these same servers, these people know you. And I'm like, what do they think? You know? And lady serves us, and she knows her, I guess. They seem like they know each other a little bit. And I'm just thinking, this is wow. How come this woman has no shame or remorse or anything about what she's doing? You could probably say the same for me as well. But I am truly intrigued, although putting myself in a dangerous situation, truly intrigued by everything that's happening. And she pays for the food with her husband's credit card. That was the kicker for me. All of this and eating on his money that he's making. She's making no money. She's not sleeping with him. And she told me. This is crazy. There's a lot of guys experiencing this too. A lot of men got wives that they're not sleeping with. They can't sleep with if they want to. She won't let them. She's not interested. It's sad. It is sad. And she's paying for food with another dude with her husband's credit card. And I'm thinking also, all the stuff she's not thinking about. Women do not think rational when they're attracted to a man. I'm thinking, what is your husband going to think when he sees the bill and he's asking, well, when did you go out to lunch? Or maybe she does that often anyway because she just gets lunch while she's out during the day. I'm just thinking about the situations because I'm thinking about things that would come for me as a red flag. Is I'm seeing this charge for some food and stuff. I didn't even know you went out to eat that day. But guess again, maybe you don't check all that stuff. And that's when I started to realize why people talk about all these videos on the internet after seeing stuff for myself. Why, what women's side of it? Because she told me everything about why she feels the way she does, the issues that she has with her husband, her marriage. She told me some of her fetishes and things that she wish she could try, but her husband is just not the right guy for them. And it's low key without saying it that she believes I'm the guy that does this. And the last thing about this story, we're going to end this video, is another thing that just showed me the reality. And this is why I had to stop talking to her, because I realized that it's bad. I know that. This is when I realized, okay, I'm just done. Although this would have been great. I did not sleep with her. That's what I knew. I knew already going that far is even more terrible. But my curiosity let it drive forward because I actually never planned to really sleep with her. I could have. She knew where I lived. She even came to my neighborhood. We went for a walk, like another basically date. We've went out a few times. Yeah, we went out a few times. And her husband actually called one of the times because she was with me for hours while her husband was at home with the kid. And I could hear him on the phone talking to her, and I'm right there with her, and she's having a great time with me, and she feels annoyed when he calls and aggravated, answers the phone and just say, hey, take the kid to the mall, do something with him. I just need some time to myself. You ever heard that, guys, while you're in a relationship? Your woman goes away for the day. She needs some time to herself. See, I know what all this stuff means now because I've truly been on both sides. I've been that guy at home before, wondering, where is my girl? Where's my woman? Actually, where is my wife? What is she doing? And I've also been the other guy. I've been on both sides, guys. So that's why everything I talk about is true experience. It's not me guessing. It's not me. This is why I don't need another red pill video. I don't need to watch any of the red pill videos because I'm living it. I'm living both sides. I have lived both sides. I'll put it that way because I'm no longer and never will be in the other situation where I'll be that husband. At least not willingly. You really can't tell, to be honest. The funny part is, if you commit to them, you can always be in that situation. But I don't plan to really commit long term to a woman, so it really never happened to me. But yeah, so she was out with me. I remember she didn't want to go home. I had to send her home that night where she was with me for hours because she was with me during the daytime. It went nighttime. Husband called her and she was at the point where she was talking about coming back to my place, watching a movie with me, all this stuff. And I'm not even going to get into the sexual things she talked about because I don't want to put that on here. But she even had conversations with me, like I said, about her fetishes of things she wanted. And that's where I was at before I went on a tangent. You can never follow any of my stories on here, but I'm going to give you a lot of information and just throw it out however it comes in my head. So pause. And so then one day she was having a sexual conversation with me through text, telling me what she likes. And I said, okay, I might be able to do that. I was playing with it. Now I was teasing her, but I really wasn't about the action. And then, I go on Facebook. I have Facebook at this time. I don't have it anymore. I went on Facebook, and the same time that she's going through this sexting with me, I see her post a happy birthday post to her husband. The post says, "Happy birthday, we love you." She's got the kid in the photo, and she's just shouting him out like, "Have a good day, and you're the best," and all this stuff. And I had to double take because I thought maybe I'm like looking at my text. I'm like, maybe this is not the same person. Maybe hold on, maybe she posted this a different day or something. I looked at the timestamp and I'm like, oh, no, this is happening now. I looked back at my text thread. I said 10 minutes ago. Facebook post 10 minutes ago. I was like, oh my gosh. I said, I know he doesn't know about this because of all the situations she's told me that he's open-minded because she's been doing OnlyFans before. So she sold herself online before and she got out the game because guys got too nasty and they started being more demanding. She said the more money you want to make, the more demanding they're going to be. And then you have to basically, we already know this, you have to sell your soul in order to make more money. And she said she had to put a stopping point on it because she didn't want to go too far. But anyway, I backed out after all this stuff, these multiple dates that she called them dates. The multiple dates that we went on, the sexting and all this stuff, and then just seeing how she is on the other side, where pretending on social media like, oh, the husband's my love of my life, although she's telling me everything about why she doesn't like him and why she would love to leave. So I could go all days with these stories, dog. I can get deeper. I know I'm supposed to end this, but she told me why she doesn't leave because she can't afford it, because she's a stay-at-home mom. And this is the truth about marriages that last also. People stay in marriages and relationships because they can't financially afford to leave. It's not because the relationship's happy. On Facebook, their relationship looks happy. To other people, it might seem like they're happy. She wants out. She's even cried about it before, multiple times. I remember one night she sent me a late night Snapchat. That's why I say if your woman has Snapchat, you're doomed. She sent me a late night Snapchat. I hadn't spoken to her in months because, like I said, I wasn't pressing this because why pursue that? It's going to go nowhere. I'm not going to take someone's wife and make them my girlfriend. You get what I'm saying? What is the end result? I don't see a upside for me. what, just bang her a few times? I don't see an upside in that. So that's why I left all of that alone. She sent me a random Snapchat one night, and she's showing me she's in her backyard smoking weed, and she said, you should come join me. She knows I didn't smoke, but I played into it. I said, sure, but I don't smoke. She was like, that's fine. I just want you here with me right now. And then she backed up. She said, but she was like, but we're, she was basically saying that her husband's there. I don't remember the whole conversation. I wish I could bring it up on Snap, but Snap deletes it. That's what I was thinking just now. But she basically was like, oh, I wish, but he's here right now. I wish I could sneak you in somehow. And I'm just kind of shaking my head, even though I'm responding, because I just like collecting data, guys. I'm learning for you so you don't have to learn. And you don't have to put yourself through these situations, guys. Please don't. I know some of it sounds fun, but some of it doesn't. It's really not worth it. And this is why I don't need red pill videos to teach me what truly goes on out here. I'm living it.